For those of you who have not yet watched this DVD, my name is Andrew St. Pierre White. I'm the lucky guy who goes around the world shooting these 4x4 programs. I'd like to introduce them to you today. There are three in the range. Firstly, 4x4 driving skills. Secondly, 4x4 recovery skills. And 4x4 overlanding. 4x4 driving skills is just that. The idea is to take every possible conceivable obstacle and give instruction on how to tackle it in terms of gears to use, how to use the brakes, how to use the clutch, how to use automatic transmissions. But there is a very, very big difference between the kind of obstacle that you will find on a weekend outing or a club event to the type of obstacle you will find traveling overland across Asia, across Africa. Very different. I've tried to include as many different types of obstacles and challenges to the off-road driver as I possibly can. From steep slopes to corrugations. I mean, if you travel in Africa, you're going to hit thick sand tracks. How do you handle a thick sand track? You can't learn it in a school, because where will you find a school with the kind of sand tracks that you will find in North and Southern Africa? The DVD consists of about 2 hours of 4x4 training. Then comes 4x4 recovery. Well, it's pretty straightforward, pretty logical. When a vehicle gets stuck, it needs to be recovered, and that's what I've tried to cover. Once you've got that little bit of confidence and you take your vehicle into some challenging terrain, you're probably going to get stuck. Now, let me point out, firstly, it's no sin to get stuck. In fact, it's a sin not to, in a way, because if you've never got stuck, it probably means you've never really challenged your vehicle. When I first used a winch, very, very first time, 1984 in Namibia, you'll find it interesting. We had a camera on board and we filmed it. It was actually ridiculous. I still get a kick, I get a giggle out of watching that first attempt of mine to use a winch. I made all the mistakes that most people make. But the approach to getting a vehicle out of difficulty is a simple one, and that is taught, I really think, quite well through the 4x4 DVD. The third one is 4x4 overlanding. Of the three, there's more screen time in overlanding because really there's actually more to talk about. The knowledge needed to take a vehicle into really remote areas is very, very broad, very, very wide. It's probably the reason why 4x4 overlanding is the most, in terms of screen time, the longest of all of these three DVDs. I'll give you one example. When traveling overland, you're going to encounter grass that is going to threaten the vehicle. How? Well, if it gets caught underneath the vehicle close to the prop shaft and then close to the exhaust pipe, it actually often compacts close to the exhaust pipe and eventually catches fire. And the result is this. This is a Toyota Prado, Southern Kalahari. The driver was carrying a fire extinguisher, but he wasn't quite quick enough, and it wasn't quite big enough. I talk also about fire extinguishers. The vehicle was completely destroyed, and this is the kind of thing that can happen when traveling overland. On the DVD, there's a section about building up a station wagon. We take a station wagon, we build it, and we prepare it to create a 4x4 expedition vehicle out of it, and we do a very similar thing with a pickup, even more elaborately than the station wagon. And there's also a piece on that DVD about navigation. GPS, using a GPS. It begins with the basics of GPS, the basics of traditional map reading, and then it combines the two. And with the combination of those two things, map reading and GPS, GPSs really come into their own. So I welcome you to my 4x4 skills series. If you like to go online, I invite you to go into my website, 4xforum.com. If you subscribe to 4xforum.com, you will get all of these videos that I've spoken about and my 2 television series. You'll get them absolutely free as video downloads. My book also, I've written 12 4x4 books. Again, if you subscribe, available as a free download. But if you still prefer a DVD to hold in your hand or a book to read in your hands, subscribe, and they're all at half price. So I wish you now happy and safe traveling.